Yeah, and then yesterday it worked. Okay, going live. All right, we are live, NKG live again. We had a battle report yesterday.
Very exciting.
Anthony and Phil's back. Phil's back in the building. He's been here all along. He just hasn't been on camera for a while. He's actually working on stuff right now.
I'm back on videos.
He's doing some work here, but yeah, it was a good game yesterday. If you want to watch the Necrons versus Anthony's Imperial Guard. But today we're talking about Space Marines because Arks of Omen is out, and Space Marines got a little, would you call it an indirect buff or?
Well, the main buff came from the data slate and the point changes. That is where the real meat of the buffs come from.
And the free upgrades.
Arks of Omen really helped them with getting CP back and being able to take whatever they want. It's a big change from what we've seen in the past, and it's just rocking the boat.
Free upgrades is a big thing now because, like, we'll talk about it, but like armies that have more elite units, getting free upgrades is huge because it reduces your point cost overall. You can take more. And some armies got some really big buffs, like Iron Hands. We'll talk about it, but we're getting to back to 8th edition. It feels like. Yeah,
Space Marines went from being, I'd say, the bottom of the barrel at mid-9th. Yeah. And now they just went up all the way up, man.
Yeah. There's some armies that are going to be tournament staples, and then there's some that are just kind of forgotten about. But we'll see. Let's talk about it.
I wonder where my Raven Guard will be. I'm pretty sure they're going to be really good.
Yeah, we'll see where they are. Let's get into it. Black Templars, number 1. What do you think?
Very strong. With Armor Contempt gone, a lot of Space Marines are a lot squishier with the damage creep going up. They have a couple of interesting vows and mechanics, especially with the vows that allow them to get a 5+ invuln and mini transhuman. Really brings their tankiness up even with AOC gone. They even have a litany that gives them a 5+ feel no pain.
Wow.
So a lot of cheap units as well. Their Crusader squads got decreasing points. Some of the better elite units that are usually in the regular Space Marine Codex also got a lot of point decreases. Yep. You're going to see a lot more bodies on the ground for Black Templars, a lot more guys running at you, and you might not have enough bullets, in my opinion, to take them down. And
they never relied on Armor of Contempt that much either way because they have they have their infom, they have the ignoring mortals, they have their invuln against or feel no pain against mortals. They're very tough now. Like they were already pretty good. Now I think they're really tough. I don't know. I think you're going to see them in tournaments. I wouldn't say they're going to be a standard, but I kind of do want to put them in standard. What do you think?
In my opinion, out of all the chapters,
they're very strong, at least.
They did not take any like debuffs or nerfs.
Yeah.
They just went straight up to a lot better.
So would you say not situational, it just landed there, but I'd say the tournament standard right now. They're really good. They have a lot of tanking, like they can tank a lot, and especially with Armor Contempt gone now, like we said, other Space Marine chapters are going to get hit with that pretty hard. Like we know Salamanders lost their little buff they had for the no re-rolling wounds. But like you said, no side nerfs to them. They're very strong. Blood Angels.
Oh, the poster boys of strong Space Marines in 9th.
Yeah. So they were top of 9th, right?
We've seen a lot of gameplay with them.
Yeah. Like we know Sam plays them. He's been winning a lot of tournaments with them throughout 9th. They're strong. You saw the stuff they do with the Sanguinary Guard.
Yes.
But those got kind of nerfed because they're more expensive now.
Yes, a little bit of a price increase, but some of the war gear is now free. So you can mix and match maybe a Power Fist in there rather than just all swords and axes.
Yep.
They also took Armor Contempt away, so that 2-up save is very important for them now.
Yeah.
Aside from that, they did have a bunch of point decreases with Assault Marines, which means that they have another facet of just fast attack units that just get into melee combat with chainsword, just murking everything.
Yeah.
Just be more careful. And their secondaries are very strong. They
do have strong secondaries, yeah. So, I mean, I'm not going to say that they were worse than before. They're probably around the same area. Like I'd say like A tiers. That's strong. They're not automatic take to a tournament, but they're definitely very strong.
With Arks, with the update with the data slate, they are an assault doctrine, so it's still going to take them 3 turns.
You got to get to that 3rd turn.
A lot of armies that before mainly stayed in Devastator doctrine went from being very low tier to just being amazing because you can just stay in it now.
Yeah.
Blood Angels didn't get too much of an effect from it because they still have to go through the 3 turns.
Yeah.
But when they get to the 3rd turn, they're going to still hit hard. Armored Temp being gone means that they hit even more like a brick.
So we got a super chat.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Nerdington Paints.
Oh, thanks for the
nice,
super
thank you.
chat. Appreciate it.
Raven Guard will always be top tier in terms of cool factor.
Yes.
Raven
I have
Guard?
another believer here. I think Raven Guard is going to be very strong. Don't take me on that. It's just my opinion. In my opinion, they're always going to be top tier.
They are a very cool chapter, absolutely. And sometimes you don't have to worry about competitive stuff. Just rule of cool, right? Always wins out. But thanks for the super chat.
Yeah, thank
means
you.
a lot to us. Thank you. So Blood Angels, I was going to say with Blood Angels, they are, I want to say tournament standard because Sam plays them so well. He's going to be at LVO, probably going to be tweaking his list a little bit, but played in the proper hands, they could be a devastating army to use. But for the average person going into a tournament with Blood Angels, I still say they're like strong.
They're very powerful.
Yeah, they're still strong.
Just tanky. They have an easy way to get into combat with their chapter tactic. Once they get into combat, it's game over.
Yeah,
Whatever
then
they
it's-
touch, disappears.
And they have, you know, the, what is he, they bring in the, that HQ that can, I think it's Librarian, that makes you fight him first. You can't fight into, he makes you do the damage into him. I think even if you're in combat with like another unit, if he's there, he can force you to fight him.
Mephiston?
It's not Mephiston, no. I think it's just a relic you can take on one of the, on any HQ, and I think you put it on Librarian or you put it on.
It's on the tip of my tongue, but
Yeah, but anyways, that combo still works. But overall, I think points going up a little bit for them is going to hurt them slightly not because they're going to be worse, because other chapters are so damn good, like Iron Hands and the other ones we're going to be talking about. I think I'm happy with them there, unless you want to move them.
keep them there for now.
Okay.
We'll see if they move anywhere else.
Sounds good to me. Going on to the Crimson Fist. Do we need to talk about Imperial Fist and Crimson Fist very much?
Want to just do a brief overview of them?
I don't think, if we want to do these guys both together, like Imperial Fist, because they go hand in hand in my opinion. They have very similar super doctrines, and I don't think they're going to be good. No. You go ahead. I know you wanted to say a little bit about this.
So regarding the chapter tactic they have, it's first half of it is reroll. I think reroll once to hit.
Yeah.
Or was it unmodified hit rolls of 6 with bolters gets an additional
It's an
hit?
explosion, yeah.
That's strong. But the downside with the other part of it is they only get +1 a hit if they're shooting at a unit that's 5 or more models than what they have. So Horde, maybe if Hordes become more of a thing, like we see with Necrons or maybe Orcs, it could be awesome.
Yeah.
But against other Space Marine chapters or against elite armies, it is moot. The only other thing I can say with them is their super doctrine is also in the Devastator, and it's only for heavy weapons against vehicles and buildings.
Yeah.
With a strength 7 or more. So that's just out of the question, not that good. It's way too situational.
Ignoring cover.
That's only for Imperial Fists.
Imperial Fist. So if we're saying Imperial Fist is going to be low, then where do we have to put Crimson Fist below that if they're losing that. So I mean, I don't want to say. I mean, I'm going to be real with this. I think they're in don't take.
Don't take.
Yeah.
I do think that you might be able to take Imperial Fist chapter tactics as well because there's a successor. But overall, Imperial Fist, we're just sort of spoiling it, is also not really impressive.
Yeah.
Doesn't really buff it.
I'm not going to waste time because we've talked about both of them together, and it pretty much hits the same key, like what we're talking about. The Imperial Fist has a couple more buffs, but they're not going to make a huge difference.
Yeah.
They're both don't take, in my opinion. I don't know. There's way better Space Marine chapters. If you're playing competitively, these guys are not it.
The only with Arks of
Right
Omen,
now.
it helps them that some of the units, like the Devastator Centurions, did get a lot of point decreases. Centurions itself also might help because they have so many Hurricane Bolters. Aside from that, just more bodies on the floor, just more troops.
I mean, it was 2 years ago. It actually might have been a little bit more now, but not the last LVO was canceled, but the one before that, with my Iron Hands, I was going in with my Iron Hands list, and Imperial Fists were favored to win that tournament because of all the explosions and what was going on with 8th edition, but it just doesn't synergize anymore the same way as it did in 8th. And even though we're going to talk about it coming up. Iron Hands didn't even skip a beat. Like their doctrine, super doctrine coming back, being in heavy the whole time is like seamless, where them it's kind of like, it doesn't work right now for what's going on.
So,
yep.
Imperial Fists are really fortress heavy. How would you guys make a defensive playstyle like them better?
Defensive playstyle with them better?
Like the Imperial Fists are very defensive heavy?
Yeah.
I guess take heavy intercessors, take more gravis.
Yeah, just get it, just play heavier, but...
Yeah, with the way their box was, it was like a lot of heavy intercessors, a lot of vehicles that have a lot of bolter fire.
Yep.
But not many things actually have the bolter keyword now. It's like even the Gatling cannons, it's not a bolter, so you can't really benefit from it.
Yeah. I think, and also like 9th edition and going into 10th, speed kills. Like if you're going to play that bunkering down kind of style, it's not going to benefit you in the long run. And you're going to see the difference when we start talking about the big boys here, how that speed comes into effect in our decisions here. But anyways, thanks for the questions. Let's move on to one of the big boys, Dark Angels. I know you think they're going to be top. I'm pretty sure these guys are going to be automatically, as soon as LVO is done and we get into Arks of Omen, you can start seeing Arks of Omen tournaments everywhere. They're going to be a tournament staple.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
With the way that Arks of Omen works, you don't need to take troop choices. It's not mandatory. Funny thing is, Deathwing, Ravenwing, they get OBSEC. So you can just bypass intercessors.
OBSEC bikes.
Yeah, OBSEC bikes. These guys can just run rings around people with the damage that they need, not having to spend points on chaff, just keeping it lean and skinny. And
we saw Deathwing being the go-to in 8th when they were really, really good. They're still pretty good in 9th. Like they're not top. They weren't top tier anymore, obviously. But now we're seeing Ravenwing. Ravenwing's going to be you have to go Ravenwing if you want to be, top tier, competitive at like LVO and these types of things, because they're so fast and speed kills, like we just said. And do you need Terminators at that point when you can move, 23 inches with your bikes? You can pre-move one unit. You're right in your enemy's face, and then you're shooting very hard. Like these guys can shoot really hard. These bikes, you could take the regular bikes or the what are they called?
Ravenwing Knights.
The Knights, yeah.
And they come with plasma.
Yeah.
So 2 plasma shots, 18-inch. It's gonna hurt.
They can hit really hard, yes.
I do think you need Terminators because they took a nice amount of points off of them. I think a regular Terminator Assault Squad is 33 points.
Yeah.
Same cost as a regular Terminator Squad. All war gear is free as well. But the thing with Deathwing is they're only 4+, you can wound them.
Yep.
And they're so tanky. You need to hold the objectives. And I believe that one of their objectives is still pretty good. The one where you just like have an objective, you declare it. As long as you keep sitting on the objective, you get free points.
Yeah, their secondaries are great. They're like Iron Hands level, like great secondaries. And they can combat squad their bikes. So you're taking a bunch of bikes. You're gonna be circling your I don't want to say Eldar type speed, but there's a lot of speed. You can compete with anybody with speed. You can shoot with anybody in the game. Maybe not Iron Hands level of type of damage, but you can shoot with anybody and you have the speed, which I think separates them from the herd. That's why I'm going to put them on the top tier, like top of everything right now. Yes, Anthony. What's up?
Can you take a detachment of Deathwing, like a patrol with the Ravenwing?
Deathwing with Ravenwing.
Deathwing with Ravenwing and still get all the tactics? I mean, I don't think you can anymore. Because with the Supreme, it's not 2 detachments, it would be 1 detachment, right?
Yeah, it's only Arks of Omen.
Yeah, so no, because they would have to be, it's 1 detachment now.
So they can't take a patrol detachment of Space Marines?
Unless they FAQ'd that or had that in an update that came out. I don't know if I can answer that right now.
Yeah, I don't think you can. That's what I want to say. I don't think, and still get the benefits from their chapter tactics?
Yeah.
No, I don't think you can, no.
That's it.
Because you're going to take the Arks of Omen detachment, right? Because you're going to be able to bring in a bunch of bikes, or you're going to be able to bring in spam a unit. And was there anything else you want to say about these guys? They're so good.
Once again, Ravenwing really like fast models, and GW did a lot for land speeders, even the storm
points going down.
The big ones, the Primaris land speeders. really helped them out.
Yeah.
I think one of the models ended up losing 100 points or going down to 100 points.
Yeah.
So they're really cost efficient to take.
Lose 100 points, imagine. That would be crazy.
10 points for a land speeder. I think that's worth it.
Let's go. 40 of them.
Aside from that, their even Green Wing still has a place. A lot of the really strong hitters like the Hellblasters with their long range guns, as long as they sit still, they get +1 hit. So hitting on 2s with lots of big strong plasma shots that deal 3 damage.
Yep.
And even like heavy intercessors, if you really want to just sit there on objective, they are only 23 points now base, and they get a free heavy weapon.
Yeah.
So Raven Wing, Green Wing, Death Wing, they can all work together and just they're really strong.
This is why, like, we know 10th edition's coming out in like around June or so.
Yeah.
But it really feels like a reset because this is what they did with with Guard. It's like, you know what, you guys suck right now. Just take everything for free, have fun. But you know what? It makes sense. It's going to make them competitive, and you don't even need the Death Wing 4+ to wound. Like Raven Wing still has what? Is it? They have the poor man's version of that, isn't it? 5 up.
5 up. They have a 5 invuln from Jank.
5 up invuln. Yeah, they can jank, and then what was their other doctrine? Or the
Other doctrine?
No,
Other
sorry,
benefit?
the chapter tactic or
Chapter tactic was if they ever fail leadership, they're only
That's
ever
what it
lose one
is,
model.
yeah.
And the other part is stand still, they can get +1 hit.
that's right. They gain +1 to hit.
When I fought them,
Yeah.
another one was they could advance and shoot their weapon no matter what.
I think that's Raven Wing.
That's Raven Wing. It's Raven Wing. Yeah.
Death Wing is just I'm coming up with you with sledgehammers and we're just
Yeah.
gonna smash things.
So Raven Wing, like we said, they can advance, shoot. They're amazing.
Yeah, they have.
They're so
You
fast.
can kit them out however you want. They're just powerful.
Okay, one we don't really talk about them very much. I don't think they got hit too hard. They were all right before this, and I think they're still pretty good now. What do you think? With points going down, veterans went up in points, I believe, but upgrades are free.
Yeah.
And when you have a bunch of elite Space Marines that can take upgrades, that's really strong.
Yeah, these guys are the premium of the crop.
Yeah.
They are a little bit more expensive in terms of their main troop, which is the veterans.
Yep.
But most of the war gear is free aside from things like the hammer and the Xenophase blade.
Yeah.
But it means that you get the odd, like, what was it, the combi flamer bolter thing for free.
Yeah.
The frag cannon's also free.
Yeah,
so you
that's
can do a
crazy.
lot more min-maxing. And a lot of the kill teams also got a little bit cheaper because the units that are part of them did get cheaper. So you can probably make a lot more customization with them and adapt to any situation. With the way that it changed with Armored Contempt being gone, a lot of their low AP weapons do become a lot more powerful now.
Yep.
So they can use that frag grenade launcher or frag cannon, which was what, like
cannons.
AP -1 or AP -2 before?
Yep.
That thing is going to punch holes through Space Marines again.
Yeah.
I remember in 8th edition, everyone was spamming them.
Oh yeah, I used to do that too.
We're going to see those guys back up there.
Though they're more effective now, definitely. But I think the point nerf in general for Space Marines, well, not nerf, but the side nerf that a lot of chapters were getting didn't affect them as much.
No.
So I would still say they're strong. Are they better than Blood Angels in your opinion?
I honestly can't say. I think they're almost on the same level. They're both really strong. They both fill different niches. Like with the kill team abilities and all the mechanics they have, if you know your opponent's going really heavy in Arks of Omen with fast attack, you can take the mission where everyone basically gets brutal ones to hit against fast attack.
Yeah.
You can adapt easily. Everyone becomes a captain.
Captain. Yeah, you get a free captain, just like Iron Hands. Army-wide captain, but what was I going to say? What puts them aside for me is, can they move up the board the way the Blood Angels can? Because the Blood Angels are pretty quick if you start taking Sanguinary Guard and things like that.
I mean, you got really strong Terminators. You have bike squads. I'm not really too sure.
I think they're in strong. They're in strong right now. We can talk about it later if we want to move things around. Let's go to another Blood Angels chapter here. Flesh Terrors.
Yeah, they didn't get the long end of the stick.
No. What about secondaries for them? Do they have similar secondaries to the Blood Angels? So?
I believe so because they're a successor chapter.
Yeah.
They're most likely going to get the same secondaries. The only thing that really changes is they have Gabriel Seth as the chapter master, and they also have a different chapter tactic.
Yeah.
Not as strong as Blood Angels, because they don't get to advance and charge with a +1, or advance and or charge with +1.
Yeah.
They do get +1 to wound when they charge.
Yeah.
Their other part of the chapter tactic is in combat, unmodified hit rolls wound rolls of 6. get an additional AP.
Yeah.
It will help in Arks of Omen with everything becoming, losing armor contempt.
Yep.
But I don't think that's enough to justify why taking that over Blood Angels getting easier charges and easier advances.
I hear what you're saying, yeah. Yeah, I think they're just not a good choice.
No,
I don't even think
I
they're
don't think so.
situational. There's just better things you could take.
I mean, they are Blood Angels,
yeah.
So there is that.
Yeah.
That's all I really got to say.
You know what's going to separate it between Blood Angels and Death Watch? Secondaries. I don't, Anthony, do you want to tell me, I don't know it off the top of my head, but do you want to tell me some of the Death Watch secondaries? Because I think that'll change my mind if which one of these armies will be ahead of each other.
That's true. I know that the Blood Angels one is still very strong, where as long as you're in your opponent's deployment zone with something, you get points for that, which is what Blood Angels want to do.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
be on the board.
So Death Watch get one specific secondary.
Yep.
Call Order, it's in Purge the Enemy.
Okay.
If you select this objective during the resolve pre-battle ability steps of the mission, select 3 battlefield rolls from your units in the opponent's army.
Yeah.
If your opponent's army does not include that many, etc. for that, at the end of the battle, for each battlefield roll that was selected, score 5 VP if every enemy unit in your opponent's army with that roll was destroyed.
Okay, that's pretty nice.
That's pretty good.
So it's like
5. Yeah.
If you know Arks of Omen, your opponent is taking a lot of troops and maybe
Yeah.
very few elites, fast attack and heavy support.
Yeah.
Go for that elite, heavy, fast attack support. Just nuke them,
Yeah.
and then you get 5 points for each one you kill.
And that's max 15, obviously, right?
It doesn't say anything, so probably.
Yeah, so 5 points
Yeah.
each.
That's nice. What do you think? I think they're both pretty strong. I think it's just like leave them where they are.
Yeah, I
don't
agree.
think it's that much better of a secondary, but it is a nice secondary. These guys in strong.
One's a
they can
shooty
stay
army.
there.
One's a very shooty army with a lot of flexibility.
Yeah.
And Blood Angels is just, I'm knocking you out.
Yeah, I want to smash you in close combat. Here's my boys, Iron Hands. They're back.
If 8th edition Iron Hands was broken, we're back to 8th edition right now.
Yeah.
So put them up there. Crown the King up there at tournament standard.
You know what? I'm gonna say, I even though I'm biased and I want to, because I play them, I want to put them second.
Really?
Yeah. Because we were talking a lot about mobility, and we were talking about, I've been playing a lot of Eldar, my Eldar getting ready for LVO, and I plopped Iron Hands on the table and played you and Adamek. And even though Adamek have their own issues, it felt so clunky playing Iron Hands compared to Eldar. And I think that even though their shooting is incredible, and we'll talk about how good they got, they're still not, like, you need a little bit of movement, you need a little bit of speed to get up the board. I was struggling to get primaries, and it was not as easy as it is to get with Eldar. And for me, just for that alone, I'm putting Dark Angels, Raven Wing ahead of Iron Hands, but it's not really like, it's not like a big gap here. We're just saying, I think Iron Hands are going to be second on that table. That's my opinion, unless you change my mind. Change my mind, tell me my army's good.
All right, I can't really, I'll tell you that they have Codex Warfare is auto-include for him, and you just nuke everything. If you don't know what Codex Warfare is, 2 points if you kill something in the Devastator Doctrine with a heavy weapon.
Yep.
I believe that's what it was. Tactical Doctrine is kill something with assault or rapid fire, and then Assault Doctrine part is you get a point for just killing things in melee combat.
And there's no cap to
No
that.
cap. So if your whole entire army has heavy weapons, like what you did with the Dreadnoughts, just nuke, nuke, nuke.
Yeah,
Done.
everything's heavy weapons. So we know Iron Hands, you're taking heavy weapons on everything because you reroll ones. Everybody's a captain. So you get to reroll ones to hit. A lot of things can get buffed. For instance, I take a Tech Marine and I take Pharaohs, and you're buffing 2 things to hit on +1 ballistic skill.
Yep.
I usually put it on a couple of my Dreadnoughts. I took Volkite, Twin Volkite on you. I was having a little bit of fun with that, but that's really good. And then you can put a Lieutenant there and reroll ones to wound. And that works really good when you're spamming mortal wounds with a Twin Volkite Contemptor. But I still don't think the speed, the lack of speed for that army, because you're not, you know what, I could maybe put some land speeders with some heavy weapons and have a little more mobility. That is something I'm probably going to try to make them a little more competitive in that sense. But I still think what Iron Hands do properly is not going to be as good as Dark Angels, if that makes sense. With Raven Wings having all that speed, all that firepower, they just hit. They have a check mark on every on every category, where Iron Hands is like check mark on every category. Speed is like, maybe it might work if I take a bunch of like land speeders and try that out. It's not going to be as good as like last cannons, or not last cannons, but plasma cannons on your Redemptors and things like that can blow things up in one turn. What do you think?
You've covered all the points I gotta say, but in terms of secondaries, they have a very solid secondary game.
Oh yeah, secondaries amazing.
I mean, you're not gonna be able to push your opponent off. Like I even tried doing special things to your tank.
Yeah.
It's a prickly thing to go into with
healing.
Overwatching on 4+.
Fixing it. Yeah.
And it's very hard for any assault army to get into you.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think it's just a psychological thing with Iron Hands. They're just very durable.
Yeah.
You're very scared to get shot off the board.
Yeah,
and
one unit can Overwatch on a 4+, like you said, which is crazy. Then you can you stack that? I don't think you can stack. We were talking about it. Anthony, can you stack that? Remember the 6s count as 2 wounds? Did it say shooting phase, or was it just like when shooting?
What is this for?
For Iron Hands and Overwatch. I believe don't
quote you on it?
Don't quote me on it, but I think as you might be able to even stack that on top of the 4+ Overwatch. But check out let's see the wording on that. Well, we're not going to say that's 100%, but the automatic -1 to all heavy weapons, like just getting the extra AP every turn, is great, especially with Armor Contempt being gone. It was great before, it's even better now. It's pretty much +2 to everything now. And you get a feel no pain, 6+ feel no pain army wide. There's not much more I can say. They're up there.
They're just up there. But I will have to point out, with the way Iron Hands play of just killing things, you deny your opponent secondaries.
You do, yeah.
But of course, Dark Angels probably can do that as well.
They can.
But it's just
speed and
very
speed
scary
there.
with Iron Hands.
And bikes count as 2 on the objective, right?
For Raven Guard?
For Raven.
Oh, sorry, not Raven Guard. For
you're thinking about Raven Guard.
I see them next. They're up next. I can't really say, but I think we'll keep it at that. Honestly.
I think it's like this for now.
They're very strong.
Well, if you change my mind after, we'll move that around. But for now, it stays like that. Here's your boys, Ravenwing.
All right.
Raven Guard. You got me saying Raven. Now you got me saying the opposite too.
Raven. I mean,
everything's a Raven. Everything's a Guard.
Everyone's Raven here at this party. So my thing is, Raven Guard. Can we just put them up there if we're doing favorites?
All right. Raven Guard, guys. You heard it here first. Top tier. No. I'll be serious with you. I want to put them higher because you play them really, really well, and you've got it down to a fine craft with the way you play Raven Guard. But I'm sorry, don't take.
No, yeah.
Unless you cheat, tell me something that I don't know.
Arks of Omen only really buffed allowing them to get more CP, which Raven Guard and Space Marines need.
Yeah.
Aside from that, the data slate didn't really help out because they're mainly in Tactical Doctrine. So I don't care about Devastator Doctrine, but having at least 3 or 4 more turns of Tactical Doctrine really helps with killing characters.
Absolutely.
Everything is a lot more killy, so Raven Guard also sort of suffers from that. Aside from their getting first turn, if they don't get that, they're basically playing vanilla Space Marines.
It's true.
It's very hard to play them. Like, if you compared them to White Scars back in early 8th and 9th, people would say, if you play Raven Guard, and you don't get first turn, you're playing White Scars on hard mode. If you don't get the Alpha Strike, you're foot slogging it, all your guys are in a shamble, and you're just gonna get shot off the board. Centurions did get a buff with the point decrease. Their Hurricane Bolters are free now, so meaning that you can probably put them into reserve again. Deep strike like 5 Centurions somewhere and just kill something. If you don't get into combat though, that's unfortunate, but you're gonna deal a lot of bolter fire.
They took the ultimate nerf on their Centurions, though, that kind of screwed over that early tactic that they were doing in 8th edition with putting them in the pre-movement, remember? When they were.
So the way it was, you had a Warlord trait that allowed you to redeploy your Centurions anywhere on the battlefield, manages away from your opponent. They FAQ'd it so that Centurions cannot do that anymore. You can't take that and just put them over in front of your opponent and just like charge something. They don't get that back. And any of the point costs that they really get applies overall to Space Marines. Assault Marines getting cheaper and free equipment helps not only Raven Guard, but everyone else. Plasma Inceptors helps everyone else, not just Raven Guard. So whatever buff everyone else gets, Raven Guard also goes up. But nothing else aside from that really helps them.
By the way, at a tournament, Christian tried that against me with his Raven Wing. Sorry, his Raven Guard. With the Centurions, full squad of Centurions, and a Smash Captain gun in range as well. And they died to my Iron Hands. So Overwatch and all that, But it was really, it was like nerve-wracking. Like he almost blew up an executioner like first turn. It was nasty, but yeah, those are days of old, and
Do you
they
remember
can't
when
do that anymore.
Raven Guard and Iron Hands used to be top tier broken, and now how the mighty have fallen?
Yeah. Well, hey, Iron Hands are still up there.
Where's my time?
How long? How long? Okay, salamanders. Let's do this for the other Justin. Where do you think they go? I don't want to.
They took not a huge nerf, but they did get tweaked slightly. No longer can you not reroll to wound against them.
That's big.
Yeah, they're back to AP -1 counting as AP 0. So that's very sad.
I think situational. They're not horrible, but
Horrible.
I'd say they're like middle of everything right now. Maybe we'll see where they are by the end of this, but I think right now they're just like right here.
Anything that really helps them buff, even the AP -1 becoming 0, does sort of help them.
Yeah.
They have really good stratagems as well. Increasing the strength of Melta, or I think one of them is auto hitting with a shooting attack.
Yeah.
And even like in melee, you can do that as well.
Yeah.
And that hurts. Having Agrax Agatone, was it, or something like that?
Yep.
He's a very strong character as well.
Yep.
Very tough and durable.
His points went down too, I believe.
Melta is very powerful for them as well.
Yep.
Like with Armor Contempt gone, your AP -4 is just going to slaughter everything.
Oh yeah.
No longer are Space Marines going to have a 6-up to save against multi-Melta or just Melta guns. Flamers are just Flamers. They're just humble.
And when I play salamanders, you know what I do. My tactic, I a bunch of Melta guns on land speeders, and it's cheap as hell now to do that with land speeders going down. But I still think they're mid-tier, just because, like you said, one of their best things they had was not re-rolling. If they had, give me your honest opinion, if they still had, you can't re-roll wounds against them, do you put them into strong?
I put them in strong.
I would as well. So I think that was a big loss for them, for their durability, because I think salamanders are pretty good. They have a lot of buffs to like Melta, Flamers, and things like that. But
let's not forget about their secondary for salamanders specifically. Yeah. It's pretty strong. As long as you get shot and you don't get killed off the objective, you get victory points. Just sitting on objective, just getting hit.
That's right.
Just tanking it.
Easy mode. But not easy enough to be strong. I think they're situational. Unless anybody knows something we're missing here, we'll keep them there for now. Space Wolves.
The other end of the spectrum for Blood Angels, or like melee chapters.
Yeah, they want to get into close combat. We played them on the Christmas. We weren't using Arks of Omen, obviously. They were still, I think they're just in the middle there as well. Like they haven't changed much. There's not much, they didn't get nerfed very hard, and they didn't get buffed very hard at all. Some characters went down, got cheaper. Their secondaries are all right. They're not even that good, actually.
Really?
No. Like, honestly, I just want to put them, I almost want to say they're a bad choice because of what you have here, but I'm going to say they're like right here.
Situational?
I think they're above salamanders. They're faster.
They do hit hard.
They hit very hard in close combat. I like the wolfen, outflanking. You can come in on the sides there, do a lot of damage, and point upgrades are free now. Like weapons are free.
You just got to be more creative with them, honestly. Because most lists before, I believe, were just foot-slogging it, right?
Yeah.
AOC gone, it sort of makes it a little bit more, you're going to lose a couple more models here and there. But you gain more models because of cheaper units.
Redemptors, a lot more. I think you're going to see more Redemptors and things like that. You're going to need like heavier units now. With the mid-tier Space Marine chapters, you're going to have to go more. I think you're going to have to go a little more heavy. Instead of going with like trying to play for third turn and getting all your like Wolfen in, and you're like, you have to just like sit back with a Redemptor, Leviathan maybe.
Did it get a good points decrease as well?
A little bit. It's got a little bit. No, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. We got to tweak some lists. We haven't played Space Wolves or Salamanders in a while, but we need to like look at some lists we can build with that. I don't think they're challenging. The reason why I have them here, I don't think they're as bad as any of these armies at the bottom, and I don't think they're better than Blood Angels or Death Watch, and they're definitely not tournament standards. So, yeah, where else are you going to put them?
Leave them be.
All right, poster boys.
I honestly think Ultramarines are pretty good.
Yeah?
Because everything's good now with the point decreases. Yeah. They have something similar to what Iron Hands have, which is remain stationary at all times.
Yep.
It only kicks in during turn 2, so turn 1 you're gonna have to, prepare.
Yeah.
But turn 2 you're mini Iron Hands.
And yeah, I mean they have good chapter tactics. And what's their secondaries like? I'm not 100% aware with their new second. Do they have a new secondary?
I think it's something to do with.
Or is it similar? Or is it just nerf like?
I believe it's something to do with going on an objective and like doing something on it, like either planting a flag.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I believe it's something similar to that.
Don't they have marked from a crag?
Yeah, it's like that take an objective, right?
I heard it got buffed. We marked from a crag.
So it's better?
It's an action. Core infantry units in your army can perform this action at the end of your movement phase. Each unit from your army that starts to perform this action must be within range of a different marker. It's completed at the start of your next command phase or at the end of the battle.
Yeah.
If completed, it's claimed. Score 4 VP each time a unit from your army completes this action.
Okay.
So any objective, not in no man's land.
Any objective.
Any objective.
That is really good.
That's strong.
Yeah.
They have other ways. I think they can, like from the generic Space Marine Codex, you can shoot and do an action as well. It's 2 CP, a bit expensive.
Yeah.
But if you do need it to get that extra inch of firepower, it does help.
Yep.
And they're just flexible, honestly.
They are.
A lot of imagine taking Hellblasters with the big plasma, which they got a really good points decrease, which is why I really like talk about them now.
Hellblasters?
Yeah, you know the plasma guns.
Yep.
The heavy one is like strength 8 or strength 9 when it's overcharged, AP minus 4 or 5,
Yep.
3 flat damage on the highest profile.
Wow.
So if you have a squad of 5 or 10 of them just marching up, similar to what you do with your intercessors, with the stalkers, just kill something.
Except you have strength. They're not strength 5 or 4. They're double the strength, but
Strength 9.
yeah, that is a good idea.
The only thing with them is maybe they might be more infantry focused, so
Yeah.
a little bit slower than lots of vehicles or having assault squads or vanguard vets.
Yeah.
They really play a mixed role, so it's going to be a lot of variety.
I agree. I think I have them. I've placed them like right there. Do you think different spot or what?
I think it's fine there.
Yeah,
they're
I think
very,
they're top of
they're
it.
very balanced.
Again, I don't see them challenging.
Oh, definitely not.
I don't see them challenging Blood Angels.
I don't think I've ever really seen Ultramarines go higher than not often that they're better than these
to the
other
top.
5.
Yeah, they're just kind of like like you said. They're like the utility belt. The Space Marines. Just like whatever you need, they can kind of do everything really decent. They're not going to do anything really super strong like Iron Hands or Raven Guard there.
Yeah, Raven Guard's down there. They're not going to do anything at all.
Okay, and we have our last chapter.
White Scars.
White Scars.
So are we going to put the black next to the white right there?
Let's do it. Wait, you want them at the bottom?
I mean, my Raven Guard are there.
You want it
I'm
here?
just joking.
No, I think honestly they're pretty good. They're like again, speed is really good. I have them here unless you want to change your mind.
They're like I already said my piece about Raven Guard being White Scars on hard mode. White Scars are just White Scars.
White Scars are they're easy mode. They're easy mode Raven Guard, except more bikes.
Not necessarily bikes.
No?
I don't think you take bikes with White Scars. You
Not
take
anymore?
fast assault units.
Okay.
Assault squads, which got very cheap.
Yep.
Vanguard vets. Hell, even Centurions. You take those guys there, have them come in from outflank. Now you got basically what Raven Guard would do, but rather than deep strike, they just come from the sides.
We're talking 8th edition White Scars then.
Yeah, they're back. I'd say they're basically back.
So nothing's changed then. They're just like the same thing.
White Scars are very formidable. The only thing that really hit them was just point decreases.
Yeah, that's true.
The fact that everything else just outcrept them.
You mean points increases?
Yeah, points increases, and you have Iron Hands over there. You have Dark Angels. They're humble. They really can't compete against those guys.
I agree. I don't think they're not strong. They're like creeping right there. Do you think they're better than your poster boys there?
They have a lot more purpose of what they want to do, which is be fast, get in there, and just not even kill. They're more about just tying things up and going for the objectives. Yeah, and they can do it very well.
Yeah, I agree. Let's put them on top of situational. What do you think about this overall list right now then?
I think it's fairly accurate to what we would want to do.
Like what we're thinking, right?
I'm not happy with Raven Guard being down there, but nobody can be happy.
You want me to put them up one just to make you feel better?
No, I like to brood over this,
I think they just don't take, like, why would you play a Raven Guard right now? Like, you're just going to suffer.
Some people just enjoy the suffering. I just enjoy the suffering. I think I should switch to Dark Elder, honestly. I enjoy the pain.
See, but it's not like inflicted pain. Like we force Anthony. He wants to play guard, but we force him to play
It's
Tau.
the emotional damage.
You want to play it. You want the pain. Okay.
It's knowing that I'm at don't take tier, but I'm able to contest.
Emotional damage.
I'm able to contest against people in situational, if not better. Even if I lose, I'm in don't take.
Yeah.
But Raven Guard does require a lot of thinking to play. Like the amount of thinking when I'm on the table.
I think I know what you're doing. You're gonna take them to tournaments and be like, people are gonna look at you like Raven Guard, and they're not even gonna show up to the game, and you just like big brain them, and it's game over.
Yeah, they don't expect the Raven Guard to be like.
He's a really good Raven Guard player. Even when they are nerfed, you have to like play the entire 5 turns against him because he knows exactly what he's doing. And like I said, this is like, we're talking rankings at a competitive tournament.
Yes.
You're playing competitive players. He can bring Raven Guard and you can like table fill in like 3 turns with them. But
it's going to be a struggle to even get like edge to win over like something situational.
Against a competitive player, you're not going to have any edge whatsoever with them.
It's just facts. It's just the truth.
Straight up facts. Okay, so that's our list. In closing, what do you want to see in 10th edition from these guys? What do you think is going to change, in your opinion, from what we were seeing?
Probably get rid of a lot of Iron Hands. Just bring them down a peg.
Hater.
But to be fair, probably just a lot more options for Space Marines.
Yeah.
I think they need some sort of Primaris jump pack unit, something to really help out like a lot of the melee chapters.
I saw some I think they're teasing like new Gravis units, maybe?
New Gravis units, like Space Marine 2 has already sort of teased new jetpack units for Primaris.
Yeah.
Which are cool. If I were to get them, I'd probably get like 3 units of them.
Yeah. Like you mean the assault jump pack guys with Death, Blood Angels would love that.
I think with
Death
the way
Company?
it works, I think it works honestly. Like they're really elite still, but less elite than it was before.
Yeah.
But they're still less in number than Guard, Death Guard even though they're really elite.
I really hope they stick with the points too as well. I hope they don't get another point increase again, like they're just doing it right now, and then they come out and everything's like, every army is going to be another like 150 points more expensive. I like seeing, it's good for the game that Space Marines are competitive, or at least a few chapters are competitive, and then you have the meta change throughout the year. But it sucked when they were just like all Space Marines at the bottom, like mid and bottom. Like it wasn't good for the game. The balance started getting all over the place.
Exactly. I think that's really all I have to say. Yeah. Maybe fix doctrines a bit. I think they're just trying to play around with doctrines.
Oh, the doctrines, yeah.
Some doctrines being favored over others is really painful.
Oh, when they brought that, when they're like, when I read that and said, wait a second, I can stay in heavy doctrine again, I was so happy. I'm like, this should have never changed in the first place. So it's just, I don't know. That's my opinion. Some people like it though. But that's it. Let us know in the comments what you guys think. This is our ranking. Obviously, it's not the be all and end all, but this is what we think. Let us know in the comments what you guys think about the chapters in Arks of Omen right now. And we're going to be doing some LVO prep games here next week, Tuesday, because then we leave the following week. We leave on Wednesday?
Yeah, we leave on Wednesday.
Yeah, so we're going to maybe do a full day stream there of just a bunch of prep games for LVO and 12-hour stream. Let's do it.
Yep, let's just not sleep. Just keep playing.
Yeah, sleep, and then we'll play on the plane as well. We'll get to
playing.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you guys next time.
Yep. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Peace out.
Thank you.